What It Takes to Be Number One by Vince Lombardi. This book is about a coach named Vince Lombardi, and it was written by his son. It is intended for all those who are in a leadership position or seeking a leadership role. Vince Lombardi accomplished so many great things throughout his coaching career. His leadership style was incredible, and it got him and his team to win championships. Lombardi is a role model for many leaders, and this is a great read for all of those who are seeking any type of leadership role. Lombardi hits all the foundations of leadership, his leadership model, developing habits, inspiration, building and winning organizations, and motivation. Throughout this whole book, there were many familiar topics that we discussed throughout this course. It was very awesome to read how it all worked for somebody. This is a true story, and it's um, it's fun to read and to learn about coaching, especially if you're into sports. But this is a true story, and it is about one of the greatest coaches in the history of football. After reading this book, it made it even more obvious to me that the art of communication is the language of leadership. And that is a quote by James Hunter. With the right communication skills, um, your goals will get accomplished. With the effective leaders, the extraordinary will happen. And that is exactly what Vince Lombardi did throughout his football career. Right off the bat, this book by Vince Lombardi's son acknowledged all of those who helped. He didn't take all the credit. He acknowledged the team that helped him, which to me was wonderful because he didn't just take full credit. He made sure that he recognized all of those who worked hard, and I'm sure that all of those people felt great about themselves and felt a sense of accomplishment and happy for being a part of this book and being recognized for it in the book so that everybody could read it. And I really like this quote: "There are no hereditary strata in leading. They are not born, they're made. There has to be an inclination, a commitment, a willingness to command." This book is all about leadership, and Vince Lombardi had his own leadership model. He created his own, which I thought was very interesting to see because you normally only see that in, textbooks. I've never seen it in a true story. And so his leadership model is, as you see in the slide, and it starts with self-knowledge, goes on to character, integrity, and leadership. Vince Lombardi says that self-discovery leads to self-acknowledge. Once you know yourself, you can start to write your character. This will include having good habits and competence, which then will lead you to having great skills. That goes into character. And without character, there can be no integrity. Integrity provides the foundation of leadership. Character and integrity are the two pillars of effective leadership. This is exactly what how Vince Lombardi felt, and this is the leadership model that he went with. Vince Lombardi was an inspiration to everybody, including his family, his athletes, the fans, other coaches, colleagues. Inspiration is something that we all need in our lives. Without inspiration, I don't know that we would ever want to do anything or be interested in doing anything. Um, we see a lot of things and we think, oh, I want to check that out or I want to try this. And I think that it takes you seeing somebody else do it to start getting inspired. And if that person's really good at what they're doing, then you get even more inspired. And so, inspiring others to greatness. Most important of all, to be successful in life demands that a man can make a personal commitment to excellence and to victory, even though the ultimate victory can never be completely won. Yet that victory might be pursued and wooed with every fiber of your body, with every bit of your might, and all your effort. And each week there is a new encounter. Each day there is a new challenge. And as we get inspired day by day, we take on those new challenges and they keep inspiring us to go forward in our lives, just as Vince Lombardi did. He touched a lot on teaching, coaching, leading, building the winning organization. Don't succumb to excuses. Go back to the job of making the corrections and forming the habits that will make your goals possible. I think it's important to take criticism and turn it into a positive outlook to improve and be better. A lot of us don't know how to take criticism and we always take it negatively. And I've had to catch myself sometimes and try to think positive and turn it around and make it something even greater and something for people to wow about. There was an example in our text about Coca-Cola, how they were using certain products that people were not agreeing with. And in order to make that right, they had to take it, fix the problem, and improve the product. And I think that's what Vince Lombardi did with his team. They didn't experience many losses, but I'm sure on the practice field there were lots of, hollering and correcting and whatnot. And that's what led his team to be successful on the field during games. We are all capable of going out and being and doing the extraordinary. Sometimes we're scared, but we have to remember that the man on top of the mountain didn't just fall there. And winners never quit, and quitters never win. Once you start something, don't quit. Keep on going unless there's a valid excuse. But don't ever say you can't. I think it's important to always try something new, challenge yourself, set a goal, set small goals, and then have your big goal at the end, and just do the extraordinary. You never know what may come out of it, because as you're going, as you're processing in your mind and you're working on it, other things are going to fall into your lap and it's going to be even better. Being motivated is on the top of my list of being a great leader. And as an employee, I know that if I had a boring supervisor or if I had boring professors, I would not enjoy my job. I would not enjoy being a student. And motivation is what is probably number one. You have to be motivated. And I know we touched on this in our text, and I know that Vince Lombardi motivated his team to go out and do the extraordinary. So they need to be motivated to go out and perform the extraordinary on the field. And him as the greatest coach in the NFL or football, the history of football, he went out and did the extraordinary over and over and over. And this came from his ability to motivate his team to go out and play their hardest. If you aren't fired with enthusiasm, you will be fired with enthusiasm. In great attempts, it is glorious even to fail. This is something that I tell my daughter all the time. You know, if she loses a game, as long as you try your hardest, then you should be happy with yourself, and everybody else will also be happy. Somebody's always got to lose. And to conclude my presentation, I wanted to say that leadership is the most written about and most trained for organizations today. Leadership is communicating people's worth and potential so clearly that they come to see it in themselves. This takes a lot of team-based organization. This goes for team-based organizations. We've got to have goals. We've got to have motivation. We've got to support and recognize others. You can also recognize yourself as well as others, those who helped you to get to where you are today. This book was based off of somebody's personal experience, but I do believe the writer, which was Vince Lombardi's son, is a very credible source. Vince Lombardi's leadership style won him games, championships, and respect. This is a book that I highly recommend to everybody that's in a leadership position or seeking a leadership position. I do want to just repeat that again because this book is one that I really enjoyed reading. It really made this assignment fun, and it's a great way for all of us to reflect back on all the material that we learned throughout this course. And there are very powerful quotes throughout this entire book that I think would benefit everybody. So go out and do the extraordinary. Thank you.